Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's edition of WCM's Park Update Supplier Showcase, where we are looking at some of the coolest and innovative suppliers serving the camping industry. And today I'm here with Tommy Woog, president, owner of Water Wars, a really cool company that has a fantastic product. I know we're talking today sitting here and the weather's not so great outside, but we're all looking forward to summer where we can use some of their products. So really great company based out of Minnesota, water attractions company that serves a lot of great brands such as Jellystones and KOAs, and family campgrounds and campgrounds in the industry. So, Tommy, just walk us through how you got started in business and some of your just more popular units and brands that you have available.
Sure. Well, interestingly, like the business sort of found me when I was a kid. My dad and my uncle had this crazy idea that they were going to open an outdoor family fun center in our little town of northern Minnesota. To have and nothing that was there was supposed to be normal, so to say. And so instead of having like go karts, we had like a mile long ATV track where you could ride three wheelers and four wheelers. And this was in the early and mid 1980s. And then towards the end of that decade there, water slides were kind of the new up and coming thing. And one had opened up down the road from us. And so people would come to our park and ride our rides, and then they would leave to go to the water slide. So my dad thought, hey, we need some kind of cool down attraction in order to keep people to stay in the park longer. And that's how he invented Water Wars. Literally, kind of the idea came to him from something that somebody had said, and he designed and built the first one in our own family fun center, and it went over like gangbusters. And so we thought, well, if it works in northern Minnesota, if you can launch water balloons at people and have a lot of fun, it'll obviously work in other places. So he went and started the company in '89. I was still in high school at the time. And when I finished college, I had told my dad I'd come home and work for him for the summer. And that was 1995. So 20, what is that? 26, 7, 8 years ago. So I
Yeah,
guess I've been
long
around
time.
since the get go.
That's awesome, and we've got on the screen here some of your more popular brands, and I know you guys do stationary and portable units. Can you just give like a really fast rundown? There's probably way too many to talk about in a short time like this, but just some of the more popular things that you've seen and some of the brands and what people are really putting in their parks and that's being successful.
Yeah, so the two most popular brands for our campground customers are either going to be Water Wars, which is the water balloon game where you launch water balloons back and forth. And I think we make like seven different versions of that, both portable and stationary. I'd say the Dino stationary with depth charge, which is our water explosion feature, and maybe even our small mini portable Water Wars are the most common Water Wars attractions that are popular with our campgrounds. The other product that's really popular with campgrounds is our Downpour Derby, which is a four-person water pump race game where you're cranking a pump and you're trying to fill a tipping bucket over your opponent to get the water to fill and tip and dump on them before you get it to tip and dump on you. And those have been great to go by the pool or in a shallow pool or just as another water feature, water amenity that people are looking to cool down or take some pressure off their busy pools in the summer season.
And actually, before I started working at Woodall's, I worked at a campground at Jellystone Park in Akron, Ohio, and we had the downpour derby in our pool. Super cool, like little add-on to that area. Like the kids and families loved it. So I'm telling you, like from first-hand experience, that thing is really cool. If you've never seen it before, and people try and race, like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, what's the response been like for parks who put one of these units in? And really, like, what is that typical like order look like for a park and the price point? Because I know that's something as people look at like adding amenities, getting people into their parks, really big right now, of course, as we're getting into this season. So, what does that look like from your perspective, Tommy?
Sure. So depending on the model, price points can range in the from about 10,000 up to 40, depending on the size of the model. And those projects typically, when someone's going to order something, ideally, we want to take the order at a trade show or something in the fall or spring season. Then we have some time for production because generally well, pre-COVID, it used to be like 6 weeks. Now it can be a bit longer just depending on materials. And we typically use, almost all of our stuff is all aluminum. It's all powder coated. So from a longevity standpoint, it's probably too good. This stuff seems to last forever. I have some customers who have Water Wars games now for 30 years and they're still using them. So there's some wear items that come with the product, but generally it's like place an order, put a deposit down. Then we want to have time to get it built and shipped to you before the season starts. Generally that's May, sometimes June. That's when the majority of our products go out the door, probably from April into June. So that's kind of the time frame, and that's kind of the price point. But we pride ourselves on products that, yes, you want to make sure that, I always believe you get what you pay for. So if you want a really good product that's going to last forever, those are kind of the idea. That's the kind of the idea behind what we make. We want it to be really long lasting and fun. I mean, we want it to be fun year after year after year. And that's kind of proven to be true over the last 3 decades.
And one of the other things that I really liked about it was the ability to either, as a park, you can include it in your amenities packages you have at the park, or charge for it if you did want to say, hey, this is going to be an additional fee for whatever that activity was that you were doing. So how big of a deal is that? And a way that people can actually say, hey, we're either going to, add it, and maybe we can raise our nightly rate, because we've got this new amenity or new attraction, or make back some of that money and recoup their investment on the product that you're providing.
Yeah, great question. So there's really 2 or 3 ways that they can monetize the attractions. And that's more common with Water Wars. Typically from that standpoint, when you play Water Wars in a amusement park, you would charge on a per bucket basis. Maybe you'd buy a bucket of water balloons for $3, $4, $5, and your opponent does the same, and then you go in and you play. But in a campground type setting, they may either add, and increase their gate fee basically to include the attraction, and then they can allow, or they can minimize or set the hours that it's open and available to the public. Or a lot of them, if they want to monetize it, they'll just charge the guests for the balloons, and they may sell a little baggie of balloons in their camp store for $2 or $3, maybe 20, 25 balloons, something like that, which their cost is about a penny a piece. So, 20, 30 cents for that packet of balloons, sell it for $2, $3. But the thing that's been most kind of gratifying for our campground customers is not necessarily that it's a huge revenue thing, but the fun that the guests have by going out to fill their own balloons and then playing the game has been huge from a guest satisfaction standpoint. So their reviews are really positive. Their experience is positive. And on top of that, they can monetize that through their camp store, selling it in that way, or they can increase their gate fee a little bit to accommodate for that. But there's a couple different ways, and that's really most common to do it. But it really provides that just super positive guest experience.
And then, Tommy, as we wrap things up, I know back on your website there was a place that people could go to see, like, hey, here are some units we have in stock. Talk a little bit about that and how they go about that, and then how somebody can contact you if they say, wow, this is really cool, didn't know the product existed, I want to go ahead and put this in my park for the season.
Yeah. So on the website, there's an in-stock page that it doesn't list everything that's in stock, but it lists a handful of things that are in stock. And we're always trying to promote something that we know that we can usually turn around fairly quickly. Like, you don't have to wait the full production season to, time to get it built. So we try to put some of those items right up on the website. There's also a contact us page where you can fill out the form and, specifically say what you're looking for. Or honestly, I love it if people just call. Like, there's an 800 number. I'd love it if people would just give us a call. My email, my personal email, is actually on the website, so you can email me directly, tommy@waterwars.com, or call us at 800-950-1132 if you want to get in touch with us directly, or fill out the form, which kind of gives us some more information about who you are, where you're located, the type of business that you are. And then we can kind of help tailor, like, hey, maybe these couple of products would be most beneficial in this type of environment for you, and love to help tailor that for you if we can.
Awesome. And just so our listeners know, we will have the website information for Water Wars below. So if you just want to click on it, do your own research, start to explore some of the products, you can do that. Tommy, thanks for being here.
Thanks. I sure appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to this week's version of WCM's Park Update Supplier Showcase. Join me again next week for another great supplier interview. All right, guys. Thanks.